the motherfucking intro. I'm just trying to get that money like 1-0-0-0-0-0-0-0-0-0. I'm here with Gino.
Hey, danger, coming with them bangers. Tell me where my paper. Still on the same mission, trying to live major. Don't hate me, hate the game. I'm a player. Feeling like Pac. Represent. On my block. Try to knock me down, but I come up on top. Yeah, they wanna see me flop. Got a plot, want a lot. I won't stop on my pops. Got so many flows, it's insane. They don't really understand the game. Got a plan and it's plain, I ain't playing. I'm just trying to gain. I wanna get that big bag, need that D-Rex. Blow up tic-tac with a blue cheese at. I don't give a fuck about your feedback. Eat that, get back, sit back. Watch me spit that, kick back. Got so many flows, yeah, they think that I'm insane. Ghetto kids in a lot of pain. All about the bills, ain't shit changed. Danger, coming with them bangers. Tell me where my paper. Still on the same mission, trying to live major. Don't hate me, hate the game, I'm a player. If you a hater, I don't hate you. I'm just really happy that I ain't you. I just wanna thank you. You kept me motivated, so now I motivate you. There's a lot of cake, money on my mind like a banker. Coming through with them bangers, ain't no room for mistakes. Lot of stake, hustle till we get a lot of rooms, lot of stakes. Good kid, but I keep it gangsta. All gas, no brakes. Got cash for the case. More cash in the case. More cash in the safe. More cash on the way. Hustling all day. Ay. Danger, coming with them bangers. Tell me where my paper. Still on the same mission, trying to live major. Don't hate me, hate the game. I'm a player.
Danger, coming with them bangers. Where my fucking paper.
Said I'm taking big shots, just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. They been trying to get me cheap like a thrift shop, but I told them it's my time, shit the wristwatch. They been talking way before they even doing something. Whoa. If they wanna play, let's get a tip off. Ain't no silver lining, dawg, this some rose gold. Getting new money, I'm a old soul. Yeah, I get it bouncing like a pogo. Whoa. And I'm too cold like Frozone. And my chick elastic, girl. Told them we ain't in the faking, this ain't plastic, girl. Bought a new whip and cash, now my tax is thorough. Way I'm shooting like step with my passes, bro. The way I'm playing the field, I'm in a league of my own. And now they all in they fields, I got them all on my phone. But dog, I'm hitting the climb, I got no time on the low. Way I'm shooting is messy, the way I'm hitting the goals. I'm taking big shots, just stop. Way I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. I just left, but you know I'm coming back though. Whoa. And you know I don't play by my rags though. Now go and turn it up to the max, whoa. Send a paper to me now like a fax, whoa. Yeah. Got 2 phones ringing up the hood now. When I'm in the city, I get looks now. I was going bad, but I'm good now. Said I had to go and put my foot down. Told them I'ma get it and go. Even in the summer, man, they knowing I'm cold. I got a couple checks coming that I made out the flows. Might get a couple more popping if I do it some more. I gotta do it for real. Said I'm back in my bag. All my digits are climbing just like they all on a dash. And they tell me slow down cause dog I'm moving too fast. Might go and cop me a Tesla cause dog I still got a gas. Said I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream. We got Bitcoin, guys, hitting the key level at the value area low, the big level. I just deleted something on the chart here. The major level we have been looking at. We got the full rotation of the volume profile. We lost the POC. And as you guys know, this is the biggest level on the chart, potentially holding us back from the breakdown below $60,000. Are we going to hold? Are we getting bullish confirmations? What does Market Cypher B say? We're going to take a look at it all on tonight's live stream, guys. Oh, man. Make or break. We do put make or break a decent amount of times on the thumbnails, but, guys, this is definitely a big level. We got some last lines in the sand underneath us, but I prefer to see the value area low hold. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm looking for, and if we do have to go take out that low, some of the confirmations I'm looking at to hopefully reclaim and get a bigger move up. But shout out to the Mafia, and shout out to Jason Casper with the super chat. Said, yo, I'm scared right now. I'm about to lose everything if we don't bounce. Shout out to Jason Casper. He also said he wants to live stream. He wants the freestyle on the intro song. Shout out to Jason Casper. We'll have to send you the song over and just the instrumental version, and we'll get the Jason Casper freestyle on the Frankie Candles intro song. That'd be actually pretty fire. Shout out to Tony D. Tony, we got to try out StreamYard. I think you could like pull in guests really easily on StreamYard. We now use OBS. It's kind of a pain to get people on. So we should try to figure out a way to easily get people on. I'll probably pull Jason on right now and get a freestyle over that intro beat. But shout out to Jason Casper. Thank you for tuning in, bro. Thank you for hanging out with us here. Show some respect to Jason Casper in the chat. What is it? Plungers. Drop the plungers in the chat, guys. But here we are. Shout out to the Mafia. We got New Earth Guardian in the chat. What is going on? Said Frankie, Jason, collabo. Yeah, I have not done a collab in a really long time. Shout out to Tony D. Can you look into StreamYard, bro? Because I'm going to have some time in between trying to take the puppy out to poop to maybe set up StreamYard because OBS is quite annoying. You guys know we have a lot of problems with OBS, and everybody apparently uses StreamYard. Maybe we should try it out. But let's see. Finally going to break 60K, bro. Shout out to Prash. We're going to talk about it, guys. We'll take a look at those higher time frame confirmations. As you know, we did have the high time frame red dots on market cipher B yesterday, and looking for that full rotation of the volume within the volume profile down to that value area low. Surprise, surprise, we're sitting at the value area low right now. So what is coming next? Money flow coming up. I feel lackluster pump until we dump. Shout out to Alex Becco, not to be confused with Alex Becker. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a second. But let's see. Took my break just for the live. Let's go. Shout out to Servando Estrada. Well, I assume that break is limited. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts to get Servando as much sauce as we possibly can before he's got to get back to work. Let's jump into it. All right, so here we are. Can we check WTI? It's breaking out crazy. Yeah, we'll try to take a look at some of the altcoins as well. Gen Z says up only. What is coming up, guys? We're going to cover it here in a second. What about Mew? We'll try to take a look at the altcoins. Friendly reminder, please do not super chat your altcoins. Well, you can, but it doesn't guarantee we're going to look at it. Otherwise, we'd have to do a 24-hour live stream, probably a 48-hour live stream. I accidentally deleted this profile. So as you guys know, obviously, let me actually come off of this chart here real quick. This is the premium Discord share chart. But obviously, guys, yesterday, as we were pushing into the POC of the range here, let me go ahead and hide some of this stuff. Bada boom. Yesterday, we came down to test that POC of the range, or came into the zone. And as we looked at this, guys, we had the 786 Fibonacci retracement. Whoops. Get that to the high. We had the 786 POC. We did front run that POC. We did look at this level as kind of a, within the overall volume profile. Let me get this golden pocket off the chart. Come on. Bada boom. Right. So when we look here, we did get the failed auction above the high. At that point, we were looking for the push into the value area high. Once we get back in here and cannot break out, the next likely place for price to go is that point of control. We came down, we tapped it. We had the long setup here in the premium for a bounce back up to the value area high, which was obviously the major level of resistance. And this is kind of difficult because as we look at these volume profiles, guys, typically when you hit the lows or deviate below, you're looking to go to the POC, flip the POC, go to the high, deviate above the high, get back in, can't get out. You're looking to go to that POC and eventually looking for that full rotation to the value area low. Now, we did have an opportunity for a bigger breakout here, but we did need to reclaim the previous high here at about $72,000. For a bigger push into our last level of resistance at 74K before looking for that bigger move up towards 78 to 80K. But as we push into that value area high, as we say, and I try to be as explicit as possible, I cannot be looking for long positions here. I can only look for shorts. And we wound up getting that rejection. As long as we remain below that value area high, the higher probability is to eventually get back down towards the POC, which was an honorable mention level of support. Obviously, the bigger, more important level was sitting down here at the value area low. And even yesterday on the live stream, as we pushed in here, we front ran that POC. I did not take this long position as we did not hit the point of control. We also only had low time frame confirmations. We didn't have a ton of confluence here for a bigger continuation. And of course, we look for that tap of the POC eventually. And what happens? You front run the level, guys. And this is just going to show more often than not, yes, you will front run levels. I used to get front run a lot more when I used to look at the Femex chart and not the Bybit chart. But after looking at the Bybit charts, it's much more probable that you are going to come down and hit those major targets, especially within the range, lose the high. That POC is a magnetic target. And we did front run. We got a little bit of a bounce talking about how we would view that as a scalp for an eventual continuation down to tap that POC. Obviously, no confirmation in here. We essentially just melted right through this level and the bigger zone of support down here, which we were waiting for very, very, very patiently at the value area low, has finally been tapped. So what is coming in now? Because obviously this was kind of a lackluster honorable mention support, but now that we're back down here at the bigger level, guys, this is, in my opinion, the biggest level on Bitcoin, as we've been talking about for weeks. Now, obviously, we do have a bit of a zone down here. We have a last level of support down at the MPOC, daily MPOC 786 Fibonacci retracement. But in my opinion, guys, and I'm going to dive into the lower time frames and kind of talk about this, but if we're unable to deviate below here, right, or maybe get a bounce from the golden pocket, if we can't overall hold this level and we just wind up getting bearish retest, get it rejected out of the range, I'll be interested in scalps at this level. It is a level of support, so maybe we get reactions here. But at that point, guys, I am going to have to be flipping a little bit more bearish, being very careful. If I do take a scalp long down here, I will be careful of the bearish retest of the value area low for potential continuations below $60,000, right? Like, value area low golden pocket. We've already tapped into this with some similar to the situation we had at the POC. We really have low time frame confirmations, but we don't have all the medium and higher time frames lining up. So I'm kind of expecting a similar situation here. We may have already seen it play out. I'll cover that more in detail in a second. But at the end of the day, guys, if we lose this golden pocket, there's one specific scenario I'll be looking for, but eventually if we can't get inside this value area, last level sits down here. Similar to the POC, it's like, I'm going to be looking at this as a scalp level for potential continuation down. And then once we lose that 786, in my opinion, I will 100% be anticipating a break below $60,000, which, as you guys know, is my personal preference because I am still holding a portion of my big shorts from higher. And if we do end up not being able to hold this zone of support, I'm looking to take out that low below 60K. And one of the things that we looked at yesterday as we tapped into that POC, other than the fact that we really only had lower time frame confirmations, giving us that little pop to the upside. We came down here to I think it was the 7-minute time frame. All right, lower time frames did give you some bullish divergences. You get your, or maybe it wasn't, maybe it was the 5-minute. 5-minute lower lows on your price action, higher lows on your momentum waves. You got some divs into the 786. Of course, that support, little potential scalp. But again, suspicious of that POC getting tapped. And for me personally, because I was holding my long from lower, I was really interested in this level myself. But on top of that, right, what did we see here? Number one, you're inside the volume profile. As long as you remain inside this range below the value area high, the rotation of the POC and the fulfill of the volume profile is the statistical higher probability. And on top of that, we did have the high time frame red dots. We had the 4-day red dot printing, and then we had that 5-day VWAP coming down looking to print a red dot as well. And when I look at this, guys, and I see these momentum waves forming like this, again, it doesn't mean that it's impossible to hold support. Again, this is why this is kind of the make or break level. If we end up losing this and we get the bigger drop down, we could potentially print some higher time frame bullish divergences as we look to fake out this low below $60,000. We've taken a look at this level of support about, I think it's 273 times on the live stream. We have the weekly horizontal. We have the monthly and weekly MPOCs sitting between $58,000 and $55,000, right? If we wind up coming down there, if we do get the bigger breakdown, we can't hold the support, get that break of 60K, I will be looking for those high time frame bullish divergences. I am interested in this support level for big bounces. It's major support, major high time frame monthly level, major high time frame weekly level, and then another weekly level. And on top of that, when we zoom out and pull up our 2021 value area, our value area high from the previous bull market range highs is sitting right there as well. And, not just the fact that this is major support, but of course, if we do end up losing this and getting stuck inside the range, this could be looked at as a bearish scenario down towards 47K. Once we lose that POC at 47K, yikes, that is really the much more bearish case where we'll be looking for Bitcoin to go down towards 30K. But until then, guys, we are still living above major support. And again, even if we lose our local support here at the value area low, of course, big drop to the downside relatively, but we do still have major high time frame support down here. So I'm still interested in this level. As you guys know, within this range, I've been pretty neutral. If we're in a ranging structure here, looking for longs at the lows, shorts at the highs, longs at the lows, shorts at the highs, potential longs at the lows. I am holding a scalp long here. I'll be honest, guys, I will not be surprised if I get stopped out of this for a very specific reason that I'm going to cover with you on the lower time frames. I'll kind of show you. I don't ever try to say that I can call the price action to the dollar, but I'll try to show you what I would like to see down here if we are going to kind of fake out and deviate below here and then reclaim and get the bigger move up. But overall, we have the 4 and 5 day red dots printing. This is a higher time frame bearish confirmation. And when we start looking at money flow here, remember money flow indicates the overall trend. When we look at the 4-hour here, 4-hour money flow in the red, right? If I wanted to see a really nice bottom come in, you guys know we like really nice bottoms, fat bottoms, someone would say. But if we were to see some kind of bullish divergences down here on the 4-hour time frame, right, with money flow trending to the upside, I would see this as a much stronger bottom. But right now, obviously, we do have money flow on the 4-hour tanking to the downside. Really only have lower time frame confirmations in here. Again, similar to that POC, which does make me open to fading the rises, right, fading the pushes to the upside. But you got your money flow on the 4-hour in the red, we've got the 6-hour money flow crossing over into the red. Now, of course, these VWAPs are coming up, but remember, when this VWAP crosses over the 0 line, we will get a green dot. Technically, well, we'll see what happens with this momentum wave. Maybe you get a 6-hour bull div, but again, these green dots, when money flow is coming out, guys, money flow indicates the overall trend, right? So if we get that green dot, could be a lackluster bounce to the upside, lower highs and lower lows. On top of that, you have the 8-hour money flow coming out. Again, green dot coming in, but, the overall thought process here is, if this money flow crosses red, trend to the downside could be likely on top of those 5 and 4-day red dots, looking to give you the continuation of the downtrend, right? And then hopefully we can get some massive bullish divergences if we have to go below 60K. So you get the 4 or 5-day red dot, 6-day VWAP also rolling over here. You still got 6-day money flow kind of chopped up here. We're in the red, we're in the green, we're in the red, we're in the green. Nothing really to take away from that personally for me. But 6-day red dot, 5-day red dot, 4-day red dot. These are high time frame bullish, bearish signals. And then, of course, we do have the money flow, even like on the 10-hour, continuing to trend to the downside. Now, of course, it's not impossible to get some kind of shocking rip to the upside here. All the indicators fake out. But if I had to make a call here based off of what the indicators are pointing towards, money flow coming out, high time frame red dots. Sure, we have some medium time frame green dots looking to print, but of course I have to view that as lackluster bounces. Green and red dots indicate the ebbs. Green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot. Money flow indicates the overall trend. So if we get a green dot, right, maybe the trend right now is high, low, lower, high, lower, low. Again, volume profile helping you anticipate the full rotation of volume. I always say if you take anything away from my streams, guys, learn the volume profiles. They will help you out so much, understanding where you should be looking for longs, where you should be looking for shorts. Right now for shorts, I mean, if you're not short from the value area high or the failed auction on the deviation up here, in my opinion, right, this is not, just like up here, is never a place where I'm looking for a long, right? Doesn't mean you can't long within the trend, right? But you got to long those pullbacks. This is not where I would be looking for a short. Does it mean that you can't dump back to the downside? No, obviously you can, but this is not where I would be looking for a short, right? I would have to be looking for longs down here. And again, I am holding right now, a scalp long. If it winds up turning into a bigger trade, I'll let that hit me by surprise. But because of the money flow, if we're able to hold here, reclaim the value area low, next major level does remain the POC. Just simple volume profile theory here. Shorts at the highs, longs at the lows. Now, with my, I said I'm not going to be shocked if I get stopped out of this scalp long. To be honest, guys, like, it's very similar to the POC yesterday. We talked about the low time frame confirmations. We front ran the POC. Overall, you're expecting a little pop to the upside on those low time frame confirmations, and then eventually a continuation to at least the POC, and me personally, move down to the value area low, which obviously did play out. But it's kind of similar here. We do have some low time frame bull divs forming down here, right? This is the zone. We've been waiting for this. Beep, beep, beep. Trading view notification goes off. We do have some bullish divergences here on some of the lower time frames. You got a 15-minute bull div here, right? Higher lows, lower lows into a key level of support. But again, with the higher time frame money flow indicating the potential continuation to the downside, we do have to be careful with that. And our major level locally above us is very simply going to be the value area low. If we can get a flip of support here into the value area low, that could open up the target here to get a bigger rise into the POC of the range, which I will talk about in a minute because this is going to be a big level of resistance for a couple of different reasons. But right now, we'll see. Maybe we'll get some price action here live. We tried to, we came down, we tapped into the golden pocket, which apparently isn't on the chart right now. Let me see if I have it somewhere here. There it is, right? We came down to the top, front ran the golden pocket, tapped it, down to the bottom of the golden pocket, reclaim the weekly. Right now, really to see a local move to the upside, we got to flip that value area low. So we'll see, right? If we can't get above this value area low, maybe we come down to take out the lows one more time. And like I said, 15-minute bull divs, right? Come on down to some of these lower time frames. You got some low time frame 7-minute bull divs into the golden pocket. That's confirmation into a key level. You do have, like, locally, you have the low time frame money flow coming up. However, when we come up to something like the 45-minute, you could see here, money flow continuing out, no bullish divergences. We really only had bull divs between the 1 and the 30-minute. I don't really love this div, right? But technically it is bullish divergence. But at the end of the day, right, this is not necessarily, these are all low time frame confirmations. We don't have a 1-hour bull div, right? As a matter of fact, if we can get a little bounce and then take out that low one more time, maybe we can print some medium time frame bull divs. So you got low time frame confirmations. We are getting the pop to the upside here, just very slightly, but we don't have any of those medium time frame divs, right? If I want to see a really strong bounce here, I really want to see at least like 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour bullish divergences, which we simply do not have. Right? And then you pair that with your high time frame money flow starting to come to the downside. That just gives me the idea and the bias of I have to be careful with this long position, right? Taking profit along the way, viewing it as a scalp until, right? Well, I guess it kind of already played out as a scalp into the value area low. But I have to view this as an overall lackluster bounce for lower highs and lower lows. It's very simple. When you just look at money flow, guys, it is always going to indicate the trend. This is what gives me the bias of the bigger, longer term moves. Right? When we look at this 10-hour time frame, we get this pullback from above the value area high. We shorted this, took profit at the value area low, but then we took the long at 65K. Why is that? Well, we have a low, a high, a higher low, and we're looking for a higher high for a very specific reason, right? We had Fibonacci retracements down here, which is the highest probability area in my experience to see those higher lows come in. But the only reason we look for this to be a higher low and we expect a higher high, right? Not like the reason we look for that is because our money flow is trending to the upside on the 10-hour time frame, right? Low, high. When we get that pullback, we're looking at lackluster retracement for a higher low and a higher high. You got a little bit of a fake out here into the green, but overall you are trending to the upside, as you can see. So that's what gives us the idea of putting in that higher low for a higher high. When we look at this now, what do we see? Money flow is technically in the green, but it's trending out. This is not as good in my opinion. If we were going to get the breakout here, in my opinion, it would have looked a lot better to do it on this fresh money flow crossover into the green. Right now, we have money flow trending out, potentially looking to cross into the red, which gives me the opposite bias of lackluster retracements, lower highs, and continuations of the downtrend. Can it fake out? Yes. Is it going to be 100% accurate 100% of the time? No. But this is how I look at the charts. This is how I come up with my biases, and more often than not, it will be correct. Sometimes you get faked out, no big deal. And in this case, if it does fake out and we don't take out the low again, well, we'll be holding that long position, right? And then if we get down here, I have some other things I'll be looking at. But at the end of the day, right, I look at this 45-minute momentum wave, and I'm like, ugh, got the low time frame divs, but low time frame divs will give you a little bounce, right? But they don't necessarily always give you big moves. Just like this, low time frame divs, little bounce, continuation down. Right, low time frame divs, little bounce, right? Maybe we can continue up a little more, but you don't have those medium time frame bullish divergences. So if we do come down here, take out the low again, I will be looking at this as a deviation below the low. If I get some more bullish confirmations here on the lower medium time frames, I will maybe look to re-enter a trade if I get stopped out. But below this, right, below a simple deviation of the volume profile with confirmation for a potential rotation back up, can't hold this, guys. Last level of defense. Lose this, I'm looking below 60K to be very, very simple. And of course, to be specific, if I do take any scalps here, I, at this point, am really viewing this as a scalp. I wouldn't even really expect this to shock me to the upside. I would kind of just be viewing this as a scalp for an eventual bearish retest and nuke back to the downside. But again, we have our trap set. We take the trade. Trap set, right? We're just waiting for those key levels. If it doesn't play out here, I get stopped out. Oh my God. I'll have to get I'll have to sign up, fill out an application for McDonald's. Shout out to Panda Profit if he's in here. I used to work with him at McDonald's, at the start of the bear market when we lost all our money. I'm just kidding. That did not happen. But at the end of the day, this is a trap. This is where I'm interested. I wouldn't be shocked if I'm going to get, stopped out here for a potential new medium time frame confirmation. If that doesn't play out, little interest, right? Just like I had little interest here, I have little interest here. I might take a shot if I see confirmation, but even then, I would see this as a much more bearish situation. High time frame red dots, high time frame money flow starting to come out, because if we do get that drop, guys, you have to think about this, right? We get down here. What is that 10-hour money flow very likely doing? It's very likely crossing into the red, right? So if we do come down there, I get a bounce, and this money flow is crossing red. The idea is simple, lackluster retracement, lower highs and lower lows, and then once we lose that 786, in my opinion, super high probability to take out that low at 60K. So huge level, huge level here. I would prefer to just hold on top of this. If we get a shocking rip to the upside, at least it's from the value area low. I don't like it as much down here. And again, when we pull this trend line, I'll just pull it from the wicks here, right? Like we're starting to lose the trend line. I'll talk about the key levels of resistance above in a second, but starting to lose the trend line at this point. It's like, oh man, not looking as good, right? And again, market cipher B starting to bleed out on the money flow. So we'll see what happens. And I will cover the, again, like shorts down here. Like never in a million years would I ever take a short on a big drop to the downside like this. If you're not short from any of these lower highs or, pushes to the upside, retracements, in my opinion, it's too late, right? The move down has already happened. Shout out to the premium Discord. We have the short setup up here at the value area high and this one at the failed auction. But a lot of people, I forget who said it in the premium Discord. A lot of people made money on this. Someone was saying they made $3K and they're still holding like 60% of the trade with their stop loss at break even for a guaranteed $3,000 winning trade. If it winds up continuing to bleed out, they'll get a massive, massive payday. If they stop out in profit, they make $3,000, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful way to trade. But in my opinion, it's too late to be looking for shorts down here. I would need to see some kind of a retracement, and I'll talk about those key levels in just a second. But first, let's jump into, I almost said the live stream, the chat. Let's see. 200x long. Shout out to Just a Chill Guy. I'm just a chill guy. Shout out to Just a Chill Guy. 200x long. Let's go. Awesome stream. Shout out to Ender. I appreciate you, brother. Welcome in. Print those divs. Come on, baby. Come on, Andy. Print them for us. Yeah, the money flow is bearish. Yeah, we got the medium time frame money flow coming out. Don't chase candles. Absolutely. And I try to say it every single time. I try to be as explicit as possible, guys. And it's like people don't want to hear, we're pumping. Why would I not long here? It's like, I mean, you can long there, right? But it's just never within the way I trade. I am more, if I had to classify myself as a trader, I'm like a reversal trader or like a fake out trader, a trap trader, or I try to trade trapped traders. So I'm just naturally going to be looking for shorts as we're pumping, looking for longs as we're dumping, right? Does that mean that you can't be a momentum trader and try to get in on momentum? Sure. But even if you're doing that, right, in my opinion, why would you wait for the push up, right? Like you would want to wait for the pullback and then long low so you can at least get a decent entry price. So it's the same thing here, right? If you watch the live stream back here on Wednesday, no longs for me, only shorts for a potential move to the PLC and the value area low. The volume profile giving you a beautiful blueprint on where price is likely to go next. In that same way, can't look for shorts down here, right? Doesn't mean you can't go lower, just like it doesn't mean you can't go higher here. But for a trade setup, unless you're a breakout trader, we're fading that stuff. So we'll see. If I stop out of the long, I'll look for a little bit more of a deviation. Maybe the deviation brings us down to that 786. But, I mean, if I were to look at this as like just one big zone, again, I do prefer, like this is the level you need to reclaim, get back into the profile for a bigger move up. But at the end of the day, you lose that 786. Looking for that bigger drop down below 60K. And, of course, I will be looking for longs down there. Shout out to JP, said, don't chase candles, only chase Mrs. Candles, with all due respect. I chase Mrs. Candles. Frankie, are you addicted to coffee? No. Why would you say that? I'm not addicted to coffee, I swear. Yes, I would probably say I'm addicted to coffee. And the only reason I would say addicted to coffee is because on the weekends when I'm out of my like normal routine, sometimes I don't drink my coffee at the same time, and I get a splitting headache every single time. Mrs. Candles looked at me and she said, that's signs of addiction. And I was like, oh, man, you're getting withdrawals, Frankie. So, yes, I am addicted to coffee. I'm not drinking coffee right now. We got the Aztecian Gorgie water. I don't even know what this stuff is. Mrs. Candles told me this is better for me. It's all natural or something. It doesn't look all natural. It looks like it says it's all natural, but it's really not. But, yeah, I am definitely addicted to black coffee. Yeah, 4-hour green dot about to print. Yes, shout out to It's Happening. So if we get, right, let's just say, for example, let me just, let's just say we do hold on to these low time frame divs. We get the continuation. One thing to look for if we're going to get the continuation up is you have to reclaim the value area low, right? Once you reclaim value area low, maybe we can get this 15-minute money flow to continue pushing to the upside. If that does happen, a good thing to pair that with, in my opinion, just like a nice donut with some coffee, is that green dot on the 4-hour, right? So if we see that 4-hour green dot start to print, we start to see the 15-minute. Let's check down here to the 12 and the 10-minute. Yeah, we got the money flow trying to come up here. So we can get these low time frame money flow crossovers, specifically the 15-minute, at the same time as that 4-hour green dot. I do think that will be a good sign that at least, even if it is going to be a lackluster retracement for lower highs and lower lows, we could see a little bit more of a continuation up, right? You got to reclaim value area low. You need that green dot on the 4-hour. And on top of that, I would really want to see that 15-minute money flow crossing into the green. Now, if we do get a bigger push to the upside, guys, there is a, like I said, with the overall context here, clearly not only in a downtrend here, right? We're also in a higher time frame downtrend. High, low, lower high, lower low, money flow coming out on top of the higher time frames, looking to leak out into the red with the money flow. I would say, right, like, of course, I don't love trading the middle of the range. I always, of course, like to short into the highs or above the highs, long into the lows or below the lows. But if we do get a bigger push to the upside, of course, once you reclaim that value area low, the major target becomes the POC of the range. And if we pull some Fibonacci retracements here from the low, from the lower high to the low, you could pull this from a few different places. But you do have the golden pocket POC confluence, right? So this between about I'll call it $68,000, $67,899 to $68,600. Yeah, 68,600. This would be if we're going to go for like a nice little retracement. This would be a big level to look at. And on top of that here, guys, two fibs you can look at, right? You can pull it, obviously, you can pull it from any of, you pull it from here, right? But when we're looking for that confluence, the golden pocket 786 sits right on that POC. The other place I would pull this from is from the impulse right here. Brings it down a little bit lower to about 67.6. So it will be a zone. A couple other things I will be looking at here is if we pull our anchored VWAP from the high here, this anchored VWAP, if we get a push up, will likely become confluent with this zone. And then if we pull up our larger range, guys, don't forget we do have the range down here. Obviously, the larger range pulled from 2024, older value area. Zoom in here a little bit, right? You got the POC of this range as well. Let me just clean this up real quick before I mark off that exact level for you. Hide the golden pocket. We'll hide the weekly, which we are currently holding. Within this range, this is the overall volume profile we look to fill on the big capitulation down. We bottomed out directly on that value area low, and then we kind of started to create this new volume profile up here, right? But if we cannot, right, creating that new volume profile right up here, if we wind up getting rejected down again, right, lose that key level at the 786 that we looked at earlier. Once we lose that, I'm looking for the break below 60K. And within this profile, right, it's like if you can't reclaim this POC at 67.3, maybe you get the bearish retest, lower high, lower low, right? It would be a full fill of that volume profile. Now, of course, we have gotten kind of like half rotations from the high below the POC back up. That's where we kind of created the local range up here. But when I start to look at like where this resistance is, if I pull it up here on the larger range, pull the fib from the impulse to the low, right? 68,166 to about 68.3. This would be a big level to look at. You also have the anchored VWAP from the lower high here coming down. This will likely be confluent if we do get the move up. This will probably move its way in. You do have decent confluence here. In my opinion, that would be a valid place to look for a lower high before another lower low comes in, assuming you get the confirmations, of course. I would not just set limit orders there. But when I look at the biggest levels of resistance, people are going to say, is it too late to short? I would say, yeah, absolutely. Does that mean it can't continue down? Yes, but for a valid trade setup, like this is just not where I look for long. So you've already gotten a big move down. I would need some kind of retracement if we're able to get up here again between 67.280, 67.3 to 68.166. This would be a good place to look, in my opinion. Not financial advice, but if we're going to put in a lower high, that would be a nice little local retracement for a new low to come in. And then, of course, the last level to bounce off of. Maybe this is a cleaner way to look at the chart other than looking at the local range. Obviously, both are important. Give me that wick. I think I missed that top. There we go. Right. Lackluster bounce, lower high, lower low. 786 is the line in the sand. Once you lose this, we're looking down below 60K. So if and with money flow on the 8 hour, on the 6 hour, coming into the red, right? Lackluster bounces, potential lower highs, potential lower lows. Target, right? Local target would be the 786 for a lower low. Unless we, yeah, I mean, I don't want to bring up every single level here. Like 65K could be a nice little liquidity sweep. But again, you know, I'm not going to cover that right now. But if we do get that retracement, right, could see something like this into the 786, and then if that doesn't hold, right, looking below 60K. So that would be the biggest level of resistance. I can't guarantee you're going to get up there, but that would be the biggest resistance I would look at in the meantime if we're going to continue for that bigger drop down. Higher time frame red dots indicating a bigger drop for the bull divs. You know, this would be a big area to look for. I would mark that off on your chart, set alerts in case we come up there. And then, of course, if there's no confirmation, there will be no short to be had. And if we come up from here, well, I'll probably be looking to maybe take a little bit of profit off the long. Shout out to Fallout. What is going on, bro? Welcome in. When was the last time I ate a taco? Probably like 2 weeks ago. Me and Mrs. Candles have a really good Mexican place. It's like it's kind of like a fancy restaurant, but it's really bad. It's like 2 minutes away from me, and we go there a little bit too often. Sometimes, I mean, we go there like the people, every time we walk in, they're like, what are these? These people are here every day. But they have amazing skirt steak tacos. Oh, my God. Shout out to Abdullah, says, thanks, Frankie. I'm learning a lot from you. Can you show your entry today in the trade? I also entered a long. I would like to understand if I did it right. Grazie. Shout out to Abdullah. Yes. We'll talk about that in just a second. Yeah, so 786 hold or die, yes. Again, I would prefer to hold the golden pocket, but if we had to come down here, yes. In my opinion, this is the last line in the sand. There's nothing underneath us, right? There's like literally nothing. There's no daily levels. There's no weekly levels. There's really nothing to look at down here. So unless if we do wind up getting the continuation down, if we cannot hold this, I don't want to say death, right? But I would say 60K. And I would actually caution looking at it that way. You know, again, I don't know exactly how you feel about it, but, you know, I wouldn't necessarily look at it as death, right? Because then it's going to kind of spook you from looking for long positions, which I definitely will be doing if we fake out that low. But again, like just over the looking at the volume profiles, right? What would I be looking at this as? Simple volume profile theory here. Right? I'll just be looking for longs at the lows and potential deviations below, right? Overvalued, overvalued, undervalued, undervalued, right? Cheap, expensive, cheap, expensive. Only scalp longs. Yeah, that's pretty much how I'm looking at it. If it turns into a bigger trade, it turns into a bigger trade. I'm happy to be surprised by that. One tweet from Trump and we pump. Could be. XRP is still too pricey. Shout out to Vision. We're in a major downtrend. Yes. Yeah, I mean, we're in a bear market. But again, just full disclosure here, guys. As of right now, right, like we are obviously in a bear market. Massive weekly downtrend. By the way, identified up here. Not saying that we're in a bear market starting here, right? We knew the bear market was looking like the top was in at 126K on these retests of about 110 to 108K. Once we lost 108K, very likely 126K was the top. We look for the big capitulation here through the massive low volume gap that we had. But yeah, obviously massive weekly downtrend. When does the bear market start? Bear market started. We've been in a bear market, right? We've been in a bear market, right? The top. This is where the bear market starts. And if you want to be really specific, in my opinion, right, back in 2021, I'm more in the camp that this was the real euphoric top. Or I'm not in that camp. That was the real euphoric top. And then the new numerical all-time high here was essentially just a liquidity sweep to print a bearish divergence on less euphoria, which is literally a bearish divergence between social sentiment and price action. We had the same thing here. Our euphoria was in 2024. This was our alt season. I know a lot of people don't think we had alt season this cycle. We did. It just happened back here, and it wasn't what everyone expected alt season to be, in my opinion, because we had a lack of liquidity, right? We didn't have massive money printing like we did back here, so it just played out a little bit differently. You had to be a lot more picky about the altcoins, but all the euphoria, all the bullish news right up here. All my family and friends asking me what to buy. Should I get into crypto? Was all up here. This was 100% the social sentiment top euphoria, and then very similar to 2021, social sentiment on the new numerical high was not as strong, giving you the bearish divergence. Timing was perfect with the cycles, massive technical bearish divergences, just like back here, indicating the start of the bear market. And then, I talk a lot about not being a late bear. Everybody's always going to call for higher prices. They called for 100K here. We got nowhere near it. They called for 250K here. We got nowhere near it. It happens every single cycle, and it happens every time at the bear market as well. We're going down to 3K. They don't get it. We're going down to 5K. They don't get it. Very likely to be a very similar outcome there. But for me, it's all chart. It's all technical confirmations. If I get strong confirmations here, we get the continuation down. I'm going to do the same thing I did back here. My average entry price was 21K. I enjoyed this bull market. And you literally have people up here saying the bull market is just starting. You don't understand. We have a pro-crypto president. This time is different. This time is different. It happens every single time. I've been through multiple Bitcoin cycles. It happens every time, like clockwork. The chart is the truth. And unfortunately, I have to be the guy to talk about the bad news, right, when no one wants to hear it. A lot of people would rather listen to someone saying, bull market just starting. It makes them feel good. The market doesn't care how you feel. If you want to make money, in my opinion, looking at the chart is binary. There's no emotion, right? It doesn't matter what the sentiment was up here, whether people thought we were going super high, super low. Oh my God, bear market starting, bull market starting, does not matter. I see the technical confirmations. I make my decisions off of that. And thank God I did. I did not sell all my Bitcoin at 126K. We saw that. I didn't know that once we hit 126K, right? When you see people talk about targets, we're going to hit 150K and then the bear market will start. There is no way to know that, right? This is all, it just makes good content. For me, I had a target at 137K. That was my next major target to the upside. There's no guarantee you have to hit that. Once we come up here and we start seeing these bearish divergences, we start seeing all the technical confirmations, the timing of the cycle, everything lining up, and we get the drop and the bearish retest with money flow coming out, indicating a long-term trend to the downside, that is where I said, hey, this is not looking good, guys. If we lose 108K, it's looking a lot more likely that 126K was the top. It's not, if there's never going to be a time where you can have a direct number and just sit and wait for that number to get hit. You don't want to wait for that target to get hit, right? Because sometimes you front run it. If I waited for 137K, I would have to still be sitting here saying, oh, no, guys, but 137K is the bull market high. I have to wait to hit there to sell. No. Once I see those signs of weakness, I sold my Bitcoin, most of my Bitcoin. I still hold some of it. There's a portion of my Bitcoin I'll just never sell. I'm holding for the next 20 years. You guys know the deal. But it's at those times where I make an informed decision based off the information on the chart, right? Not just, we didn't hit the target, guys. Trust me, this is a magical target, right? No. If we front run the target, I see those confirmations. Guess what? The target looks less likely to get hit. I'm getting out, right? And then big collapse. So bear market starts up here. Bull market starts down here. Never does the bear market start or bull market start at the top, right? Bull market did not start here. The bull market did not start here. Bull market did not start here. The bull market started here. So, I think worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, Bitcoin goes to 30K. That's not my base case right now. It is definitely in the cards, but it's not my base case right now, especially if we come down into the low 50s, right? And everyone's, oh my God, we're going down to 30K. If I have those bullish confirmations, I'm going to say to myself, although 30K could be a target, if I get the bullish confirmations, in my opinion, they're going to be less likely to get hit. If we get stuck inside the value area, again, 2021 volume profile, we lose the POC, chart looks like trash, well, then 30K becomes more likely. But it's not my base case right now. We're still above massive support, and you got to be aware of that, right? Because everyone's going to start. I'm sure a lot of people right now are just finally starting to say it's a bear market, right? Okay, guys, fine, we're in a bear market. We talked about this before we got the drop, right? Those are a lot of people are going to be late bears, right? People saying the bear market just began here, that's just simply not true. The bear market started up here. We've been in a bear market. So just be aware of that, right? It's a psychological game, a very scary, dangerous psychological game that has your money on the line. Let's see. 68K this weekend. Get that POC retest. That would be nice. What is my price target to get back in? I do not wait for a price, just like in the bull market. I didn't mention this, right? But I did take profit here at the first top. I didn't think this was the top of the cycle, but I did take profit here because I was obviously in massive profit. You have to pay yourself along the way. I never wait for like one target to sell everything, I react off the charts, right? If we saw all these bearish confirmations back here, I would have taken more off the table. But I don't have a target where I am just waiting to hit a level and then go all in, right? Dollar cost average, in my opinion, is the best way to handle your long-term investments, not financial advice. But down here, inside this range, is where I start to DCA, right? And it's more than just being in this range, right? More often than not, 100% of the time, literally 100% hit rate on this so far. Doesn't have to continue that way. But back in 2022, I use the weekly money flow crossover because this is literally what happens every cycle. Weekly money flow crosses over. I'll go back to 2018. Weekly money flow crosses into the red. Your indication is that you're going to get a big capitulation to the downside. You get the big capitulation, start accumulation. Bring it back to 2015. I'm going to cover this very quickly because I go over this a lot. Weekly money flow crossover. Come on. Big capitulation, accumulation. This is not, I'm waiting for $152 to buy my Bitcoin, right? I let the money flow cross over. I get a big capitulation. Dollar cost average. Buy, 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 buy. If it goes lower and makes a new low, buy, 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 buy. Giving you an average entry price somewhere in the accumulation zone. But either way, money flow crossover, big capitulation, accumulation. Money flow crossover, big capitulation, accumulation. 2022, this is the exact thing I did on my live stream while I had my YouTube channel. I did not have my YouTube channel in those previous cycles. Here, we talked about this in real time. Looking at the exact same strategy, weekly money flow crossover, big capitulation, accumulation. Did we go lower? We absolutely did. Do I go buy, 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 buy? Oh my God, I'm so wrong. No, I dollar cost average in. I use a weighted dollar cost average. I start lighter and then I go a little bit heavier. It's not the only way to get into the market. This is just the way that I do it, getting an average entry price around $21,000, right? I don't care if my entry is at 21 or 15. I'm not mad when Bitcoin's at 100K. I'm not mad that I didn't buy all my Bitcoin at 15K. I'm just happy that I accumulated, right? What do we have in this cycle? Weekly money flow crossover, big capitulation. Yes, we can go lower, but at this point, I am definitely 2026 bottom watch, right? Maybe we can get some kind of accumulation, and then it wouldn't be until we lose 47K that I would be anticipating the worst case scenario down to 30K. So that's the way I look at it. Not financial advice. You have to make your own financial decisions. You can't just listen to somebody on YouTube. It's very dangerous, right? But I just share my information that has worked for me in the past and what I base it off of, right? We also look at the RSI being a weekly RSI being oversold. This does not mean that you cannot go lower. I need to be very, very clear about that, right? Back here, weekly RSI is oversold, right? People say, fine, right? They're thinking high or low, 100K incoming, don't worry. Super cycle, super cycle, super cycle. They get wrecked. And then down here, they finally say, fine, we're in a bear market. Buckle up, guys. And what happens? It's literally the bottom. Sure, you go lower, right? But it's accumulation, right? It's not the beginning of the bear market down here. And even if, right, for what it's worth, even if we go to 30K, this is still not the beginning of the bear market. We've been in a bear market. And what do we have here? Weekly RSI oversold. Does that mean the bottom's in? Not necessarily, but it does mean, or has meant in the past, that you are much closer to a bottom than the bear market just beginning, right? It's just like factual. Bear market started up here, right? And arguably here, right? Maybe we've been in a bear market longer than a lot of people realize. So there you go. That's my 2 cents. That's what I look at. Again, not financial advice. It's just what's worked for me in the past. Obviously, we do very well. So passing on the sauce. Shout out to Lindo says, when he says financial advice, you know that's financial advice. It's not true. It's not true. It's never financial advice. 30K LFG. Shout out to Aurora. I think that says, or Aura. Miss Aura. Miss Aura. Yeah, if we get a drop down to 30K, I've said this in the past. We drop down to 30K, guys. I am selling my physical belongings to buy Bitcoin. Obviously, long term, people think I'm a Bitcoin bear, which I guess is technically true from up here. But long term, guys, in the next 5 to 10 years, I do believe Bitcoin is going to be higher than $30,000, right? I would see that as a huge opportunity for me, not for you, for me to accumulate Bitcoin. Shout out to H-Bar says, when Frankie says 2026 bottom watch, it makes my spidey senses tingle. We'll see. If the situation changes, I'll be the first person to let you know. If we get down to those key levels, guys, and it doesn't look good, well, Then we're going to have to be looking down towards 30K. But right now, it's not my base case. It's in the cards, just like 12 to 14K down here was in the cards. We talked about it on the live stream. Shout out to the OGs. 12 to 14K, this is a target. But once I see those bullish confirmations, again, on the chart, it's not up for debate, right? I mean, I guess whether it plays out or not is up for debate. But once I see these bottom confirmations, massive weekly bull div, this is exactly what we were looking for. I figured, hey, we have massive support down here. If we get the weekly bull div into those key levels, that would be beautiful for a bottom confirmation. We did not hit those levels. We printed the bull div. At that point, it's much less likely to come down to those targets. So it's going to be the same thing. If I didn't see the weekly bull div here, I would have expected lower. Again, didn't wait for that bull div to accumulate. I was already buying in, right? But for me to say, like, hey, this looks really good. It looks like the bottom's in. It's really nice to have those bottom confirmations. We've gotten them more often than not, but you don't always have to get them, as I've shown before. We didn't get them in 2015. You basically just bottomed out on capitulation, and you wiggle sideways, right? You don't really get that bullish divergence. You did get the daily bull div here in 2018, and you got the weekly bull div here in 2022, right? So two things can happen. We're either going to print the bull divs, right? Hopefully, unless we have to just, I don't know, continue down to 30K. But again, I'll let you guys know if that winds up being the higher probability scenario. Or bottoms in on capitulation, and we just kind of wiggle around sideways. Well, I made that a new low, right? We just wiggle around sideways and then eventually take off. But 2 out of 3 times, you did get some kind of high time frame bull div. We do not have any bull divs right now on the higher time frames. There's no daily bull div. There's no weekly bull div. We just have a low, no lower low, which is why I say my personal preference would be to take out the low, because that would give me opportunity to look for those high time frame bull divs. 2017 or 2018, it was a daily bull div. 2022, it was a weekly. Maybe this cycle, maybe it'll be a 4 or 5 day. Who knows? So there you go. Shout out to Sam. Says, I'm just here for the occasional calf flash. Shout out to Sam. Should we show some calf? Mrs. Candles told me I have to stop showing skin on stream, but I don't know. If we get enough applause in the chat, maybe we'll show some we'll show some calf. Nothing better than watching bottoms with the Mafia. Great premium. Shout out to Block Boy. No problemo, brother. No problemo. We be getting saucy in the premium. Yeah. Bottom is in when sentiment is so bad people don't want to buy. Yeah, I would say I would agree with that, right? Like anytime I've bought at the bottom, I'll never forget back here. Shout out to my dad. I was dollar cost averaging in here. We get the FTX collapses, and I'm just like continuing to buy. We're talking on the phone, and he's like, man, you see this stuff? I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like, I feel like an idiot, but I'm sticking to my plan. Felt like a total idiot, right? Oftentimes, anytime I've bought a bottom or sold a top, it's not fun. It's not fun, right? Like up here, taking a lot of my Bitcoin off the table here, it doesn't not cross my mind that what if it goes up, right? But again, all the technical indications, I make my decisions based off the chart. The chart says this is more probable. It is what it is, right? But it doesn't feel good. It's like, you're losing sleep. You're like, oh, my God, what if it keeps pumping? Honestly, I was kind of in a better situation here because technically I was still partially exposed, although very, very little exposed or compared to what I was. But at the end of the day, even if we did come up to make a new high, I'd still be looking for a major top up here. So, and with a good entry point, right, this comes down to like your plan. A $21,000 entry price, if I had closed this closed the trade, right, sold my spot bags, right, I've captured this entire move to the upside. If it went like this, I don't care after making, right, just roughly, sell like right here, like 450%, right? I'm not going to cry over missing an extra like 34%, right? So you have to pay yourself. If you never pay yourself, if you're trying to squeeze every exact percentage out, like, no, I only have 450. I need 500% to hit that target. The chart does not care about that. Price does not care about that, right? You have to pay yourself. You have to be willing to take money off the table or you're never going to make money. You could be a really good analyst and be like, hey, I think we're going to go up massively. If you don't pay yourself and you ignore those, you let the emotions come in, the greed come in. Like, trust me, I've round trip bags before. You know, a lot of people who were looking for 250K for whatever reason up here, you know, these people are in massive pain right now, right? You don't want to do that. It's not fun. Trust me, I've done it. So, yeah, like, it's not going to be fun, right? Like, it's going to be very scary. Everyone and their grandmas know, like, oh, Bitcoin's dead forever. It's probably going to be some kind of scary narrative to pair with it. But, again, FTX collapse, Luna collapse, all this stuff happens on bad news, right? Bottoms typically come in on bad news. So, it's one thing I can tell you is when the bottom comes in, it's probably not going to feel good, right? Don't be greedy, guys. Yeah, shout out to Pomaro. Absolutely. BTC slowly climbing up. She's trying. She's trying. Got the 7-minute money flow crossover. Let's check that 15-minute. Still wiggling its way up. But yeah, let me talk about this trade here real quick. Pull up the Bitstamp Bybit chart real quick. All right, so obviously been waiting for this level for quite some time. We had the low time frame bull divs coming in. Ooh, trying to get above that value area low. Can't hate on that, right? But you do have the low time frame bullish divergences. Not going to try to get those lines perfect. Where's that weekly? Right? For me, I didn't even enter in on those bullish divergences because we were still below the weekly. Once we flipped that weekly into support, this was pretty much my entry on the reclaim of the weekly. That's a short. That's not what you want. Right? First major level of local resistance is the value area low. And then pretty much, guys, I'm going to let this kind of ride. If we get up a little bit higher and I can get a partial TP, and maybe I'll move my stop loss to break even. I'm not telling you to long Bitcoin right now, by the way. But if we get stuck inside the value area low, right, well, maybe we get that 4-hour green dot, 15-minute money flow crosses into the green. That's what I would look at locally for a potential continuation up. I would pay attention to these local Fibonacci retracements right here. 66,518 to 66,272. That would be potential for a lower high and a lower low. But once we get above that, we could potentially work our way up towards that point of control of the range. But again, I am viewing this as a scalp until proven otherwise. So there you go. Right now, we're trying to get above this value area low. Let me see. Do I have this open? I'm going to have to log in again. Great tips, bro. Shout out to Juice World. No problemo, brother. I just know, it gets very emotional here. The best advice I can give, and it's very difficult, right? Like, you don't want to listen, you just got to look at the past, right? Like, if I were to listen to all the bearish sentiment here, right? A lot of people looking for 8K here. A lot of people looking for 3K here. And it's okay to have those targets, right? Like, I think there was a CME gap down there. It's okay to have targets. Like, targets could be valid, right? But again, once I see those confirmations, I have to see the confirmations. If I see the confirmation, it looks a lot better. I'm looking for a move up. But again, if you're trading the news, like, good luck trading news. It'd be stupid for me to sit up here and say the news doesn't move the price, right? But good luck trading the news. As soon as the news comes in, you're too late, right? Like, usually get the news, big pump. Oh my God, right? Now what are you stuck doing? Like, for example, I don't know. I'm just going to pick random candles. I'm not saying there was news on any of these candles, but all right, here's your big candle. Oh, news comes out. Oh my God, big capitulation down. Short it. You're too late, right? Like, the news already came out, the price already dumped. What are you stuck doing? You're chasing the move. You don't want to chase the move. Where were we short from and still short from? $98,000, right? We didn't know there was going to be bearish news here. I guess you could say the Bitcoin being in the files, right, could be bearish narrative. I don't know if I look at it like that, but if you're, just using that as an example, I didn't know that was going to happen, right? But I'm just shorting the chart. Like, I'm just shorting from a technical perspective, right? More off, I would say, like, literally 9 out of 10 times, like 9.8 out of 10 times. If someone comes up to me and says, oh my God, did you see the bearish news? Perfect example. Trump's tweet. Back here. I'm not saying that tweet did not move price, right? But what I am saying is the signs of weakness were on the chart well before those tweets came out. We already had the setup here before we even got the move up here, right? In the premium, we're waiting for the key levels to get tapped. We get the bearish divergences. I forget exactly what we were looking for. I think we were looking for an SFP up here, right? We were deviating above the value area. We look for the confirmations. Price comes into the level. We see the confirmation. I actually didn't even catch it from the top. I caught it on the retest from 124K, right? And then our idea is the value area was something like value area low, POC, value area high. We take the short. The idea for that trade is to take it, write it down to the POC and the value area low. Of course, that tweet comes in. We absolutely nuke. People are like, oh my God, did you see that tweet? I'm like, oh, cool. I'm short from the top. Now, again, I'm not saying the tweet did not move price, but what I am saying is the signs were on the chart. I'm not saying it's some conspiracy or anything like that, but literally 9 out of 10 times, it's just I'm on the right side of the trade when that news comes out, right? Very rarely am I in a short, news comes out, and I'm like, dang it, I should have paid attention to the news. That has never happened. I've never looked back and been like, oh, I should have paid attention to the news. Never. It's never happened. I'm not saying it has never happened, but it's never happened to me. I've always just been on the right side of the trade when the news comes in because it happens more often than not. That's just me, right? I just wouldn't recommend trading the news because, again, by the time the news comes out, again, what are you doing here? Oh, my God, the news is short. We're going down forever, right? What happens? Wick back up, you settle right on the value area low of the range, right? So, like, even if that tweet didn't come out, the full plan for the trade was to come down here. Sure, we got a little extra sauce out of that because the tweet caused a lot of liquidations. But at the end of the day, where's price settle? It settles right on that value area low. And I know I just drew that. I know I just drew that chart, but just to show you, try to pull that exact value area so you can see I didn't just cherry pick drawing at the low. Believe it was, there's 2 value areas. It was this one. Oh, there it is, right? Settle right on the value area low. There's your PLC. There's your value area low. There's actually 2 ranges we were looking at here. But there you go, right? Price wicks down. We settle right on the value area low. Settle right on the value area low. Either one you were looking at. So just have a plan the trade and trade the plan. Plan period the period trade. Trade period the period plan. Anyway, let's see here. Shout out to Simonella. Thank you for the super chat. Not the Salmonella. Simonelia, I think is how you say it. I said, I think you missed the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see here. Oh, yes, I did. Thank you for the super chat. Says, Simon Elliott says, would you say we're at the point to hold your longs for lower and be more careful with your shorts? And when we're at 120, be more careful with longs? Shout out to Simonelia. I don't know exactly what you hold your long. Hold your longs for longer. I don't know why I read that as lower. Hold your longs for longer and be more careful. Actually, I would say, again, it depends on your context. Within the local context here, with our 10-hour money flow coming out, right, this does make me a little suspicious of lackluster retracements, lower highs and lower lows to eventually take out 60K. So, 10-hour money flow, 8-hour money flow, 6-hour money flow just crossed red. So if I have to take a bias away from this money flow, it is that on these green dots, they're going to be lackluster pumps for retracements and lower highs and lower lows. Again, to potentially take out 60K or even come down to the 786 at about 63.5. So I wouldn't really necessarily say we're in that. I'm personally handling it that way. So yeah, I'm still holding my shorts from 98 and 90K, right? Portions of them. I already have massive profits locked in. But I will say if we come down here, I'm probably going to close a majority of those shorts, if not the whole thing. Because at that point, it's like I've already just made a ton of money. I don't really want to babysit them anymore. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully that answers your question. Shout out to Simon Ilia. Thank you for the super chat. A huge retracement is coming to the upside. I will tell you this, right? If we're going to see, right, I know a lot of people are wondering about probably 78 to 80K. Again, what do we have happening here, guys? We are just simply still in the range, right? So for me, I'm going to view this as the trade I'm in right now. I'm going to view because I don't have medium time frame confirmations. So I just wouldn't be surprised if this is just a lackluster bounce for another low. But if I can get medium time frame confirmations eventually, I'm going to look for this to rotate the value area, right? Once we get above 72K, start flipping 72K could open up the door to 74K. Once we get up here and we start cracking these highs, that's the move to $80,000, right? I would say the first major sign of strength for Bitcoin is, of course, right, as we're back inside the value area low, you got to get out of this value area, right? Once you crack 72,000, that would be probably a fast move up, in my opinion, because if we zoom in here to the volume, right, fast move down could be a fast move up. So if we do end up getting a bigger move through the profile, whether we come down and make a new low or not, we still have to get out of this value area high, right? So there's no reason. I don't really have a strong bias that, I will say this. If you want this to continue up towards 80K before taking out the lows, I mean, this is the zone to hold, right? I'm not going to be looking at like 60, 59.9 for a new move up, right? Like once we lose this level, I'm looking down to 60K. Technically, if we hold here, we have an opportunity to get a shot at another breakout, but it's not until we break out of this value area around 72K that I would say, hey, maybe we can get a move up, right? Even here, it's like you have an opportunity to flip 72K and get a bigger move up, but as we stated, lower probability scenario until we get accepted outside the value area. As long as you remain inside the volume profile, the higher probability always remains POC value area low. If you break out, flip 72K, now you have a shot at 74, flip 74, that's 80K. Lower probability, not impossible, but lower probability as long as you remain below that value area high. So same thing stands true. If we get back up here, I'll be saying the same thing, right? As long as you remain below here, I'm looking for shorts for a potential rotation back down. If we can flip 72K, it's not until then, and honestly, we'll see what happens at the time, but if we get above 72K, really the line in the sand, in my opinion, is getting above that anchored VWAP. I don't know where that's going to be living once we get up there. Too soon to say, right? But I would not be looking at 80K as a high probability target, especially with the way money flow looks like right now, until we basically see it come up here and show us a sign of strength, right? Finally break out here. And remember, this $74,000 level has been tested so many times, right? Tested. Chances of us coming back up here for a fourth test, flipping it, and breaking out were high, in my opinion. We didn't get it, right? So 74 and 72K are like major high time frame levels. But as long as we live down here, like I'm not even looking up here yet, right? We got the POC, we got the money flow coming out. We got a lot of work to do to start looking at that as a possibility again. 86K is my target, then lower. If we hold here, I will say that, right? Like we got to hold here. If we don't hold here, probably not going to happen. But if you can deviate, rotate, right? You're still going to have to battle this value area high once we get up there. $81,000. This is local support, just so you guys know, on the higher time frames. I've covered this many times. But overall, like I'll just take this resistance off. It is there between 78 and 80K. Probably going to be a stalling point. But really, when we look at the volume, from a simple standpoint, I'll just pull up the gap. I think I have it marked out here. I guess I don't. Right. High volume node starts right here. 86K, right? Break above the highs here. Essentially, no resistance, right? Fast move down could lead to a fast move up, right? High volume node starts at about 86K. It's also the value area low of your local range up here. It's also the value area low of your macro range up there. So 86K is 100% a valid target, in my opinion. But again, we're nowhere near even testing to get into this, right? That's assuming that this holds, we get a higher low and a higher high. But if we do get that, right, I would 100% say, right, like you can see 78 to 80K. Like right here, you have a little peak in volume, but for the most part, high volume here, high volume here. If we impulse, very simple, we impulse out of this range, very big target around $86,000. And of course, it's not very, it might not be a straight line like this. If we do get a little bit of a hang up, I'd be looking at like 78 to 80K. If money flow is coming up, I'm looking for lackluster retracements, higher lows and higher highs, right? But that major target would be 86K. So totally a valid target based off the volume. Very simple. It's the same thing we looked at. Pull it again. Low volume gap. back in the day, hey guys, if we lose this support, money flow is coming out, nothing underneath us but air, expect a capitulation. Not oh my God, this is going to go down, right? Literally marking off this exact volume gap and why we anticipate not only a drop down, but a fast drop down. And we talk about how you can use these volume gaps to kind of curb your emotions, right? You're not sitting here like, oh my God, what's happening? Everyone's selling. This is so bearish. Oh my God, right? Now, obviously it's bearish, but you actually know. You know that if you lose this, you can expect a big capitulation down. Number one, giving you insight into why the move is happening, removing emotion, and also being able to short and absolutely make money on it, right? You could bet on that gap filling and make money off of it, right? So it'd be the same thing for the move up, right? We tried to get in. We got the failed auction, had the short setups, back down to the low. Same thing. If we get back in here, we break these highs, you're back into the low volume gap, 78 to 80K, and then probably a pretty fast fill of that volume gap. We're just very far away from that, but still definitely valid. This gap will be here, whether we come up sooner or, maybe we come down, right? Doesn't matter when we come back up there, right? We're still going to have that low volume gap. So we'll keep an eye on it. Let's see. Hoping for 35K. Shout out to Harry's. Long-term bullish. Yes, I am long-term bullish. I will always be long-term bullish on Bitcoin because it's Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin goes up and to the right forever. And if you guys are kind of feeling down about, I know we just went down. I always kind of lose sight of this, right? It's like we dumped. Like I'm sure people get affected by that. They're like, oh my God, we're going down. But just zoom out, guys. When in doubt, zoom out. This is terrible. Crypto's dead here. Everyone's, oh my God, crypto's dead. It's never coming back. Massive new all-time high. Oh my God, crypto's dead. It's never coming back. Brand new all-time high. Oh my God, crypto's dead. It's never coming back. Brand new all-time high. Oh my God, crypto's dead. So it's just a repeating cycle, right? I am personally, this is not financial advice, I am personally very confident that Bitcoin will make a new all-time high at some point. Again, you want to separate your trades from your, anytime I talk about like, hey guys, lackluster retracement, lower high, lower low, it's always time frame specific, right? This doesn't mean that I think Bitcoin's going to go to zero. I am in the long term, even if we went down to 30K, right? I am very confident that eventually Bitcoin will bottom out, find a bottom, and eventually go into a new all-time high. What is that emoji? Shout out to Edward. When in doubt, pour red liquid in your mouth is what that looks like. I can't really see it. Shout out to Kep. Says, why do you use the Bybit chart? Why not others? Because after I analyzed each sex has different POC areas in it. Yes. So the reason I look at Bybit is I used to really chart on the I used to do the TA on the exchange that I was trading on, which is a valid thought. But for whatever reason, my levels kept getting front ran, right? And when I started looking at other charts, I started looking at the Bybit chart. The Bybit level would get hit, and then whatever exchange I was looking at would get front ran. And I just got so sick of it, I eventually would double check with the Bybit chart every time I was looking to mark out levels. And it's just every time my exchange would get front ran, Bybit would get hit. There's more volume. So I just started looking at the Bybit chart. So I look at the Bybit USD chart. And then when I go long term, I just look at the Bitstamp chart. But for my trading, I really always look at the Bybit USD chart. So there you go. So yeah, you will see, because the levels will be slightly different. And, literally every time I would look at a level, I'd be like, I'm going to wait for this level to get hit. It would get front ran, price would play out, and I'd be like, what the heck did we hit? And it was like always a Bybit level. I like Market Cypher B. Shout out to I'm Not Batman. Suspiciously something Batman would say. But yes, I agree. Market Cypher B is goated. I see. Yeah. Shout out to Kepo. Shout out to CJ. Says, looking at USDT dominance, it broke up through the regression channel, maybe a retest of the channel at POC and up. We could take a look at USDT dominance. Give me 1 second here. Let's take a quick look. I think we have a USDT dominance chart here. Haven't looked at this in quite some time. Not something I use for my trades, but let's try to see something here. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's what is this? November. Yeah, I mean, listen, when you look at this, essentially this is it's kind of just gives you inverse signals as Bitcoin, right? Here's November 2025. What do you have here? Massive weekly money flow crossover. Obviously more bearish for Bitcoin. Money flow crossover in the green. Massive trend to the upside. Same time. Where are we? November. Money flow is coming out on Bitcoin. Crossover. Massive dump to the downside. So it's kind of just like gives you those inverse signals. But if I were to mark off some levels here for you, I could try to give you my thoughts. Let's mark this off. So, and let me actually pull this up side by side on Bitcoin. Let's go 6 hour. Yeah, I mean, it's just inverse, right? Which is obvious. But let's see here. Last time we deviated below the profile on USDT. We got the pump back through the volume profile. Bitcoin dumps. It's just going to move inversely. Right? This is like part of the reason why I don't really pay much attention to this. It's just like going to give you like the inverse signals. If you're wondering what USDT dominance is looking like as Bitcoin comes down to test a value area low, right? USDT dominance at the value area high. If we come back down here, that's Bitcoin at the value area high, right? Resistance for Bitcoin, support for USDT dominance. But yeah, I mean, maybe if we can get this thing to cool off to the POC, maybe we can get Bitcoin to quote unquote cool off back up to the POC. Not something I really look at, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, I would mark off if I were to take these levels. Right, 8.135 at the value area high, 7.96 at the POC, 7.69 at the value area low. So I would mark that off as the volume profile. Obviously, deviate back to the POC, back to the high, hold the POC, back above, back through the range, 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 get acceptance, back to the POC, back to the low, fulfill. All right, so these are definitely valid. If USDT reclaims the value area highs, GG's. I mean, GG's for a little while, maybe. Let's see. 2-week money flow crossover into the green. Again, it's literally just the opposite of Bitcoin, right? Like, I already have the 2-week red dot confirmed. Monthly VWAP coming down looking for a red dot. Pull it up on Bitcoin. Pull up the monthly time frame. Monthly VWAP coming up, right? So it's just inverse. Again, not something I really pay super amount of attention to. So there you go. Quick little look at USDT dominance. I think we go into the chop zone. I'll tell you what. I hope not. I'm so sick of this. I mean, this range has just been long term, right? There's not like there's not a lot to talk about. Right? It's just like we're just back in the range. But the one thing I will say is like major support, last line of defense. Lose this, 60K, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens. We want Lucy. Shout out to Crypto Hollywood. Lucy, I think, is sleeping. Hopefully she's sleeping. She's probably listening to me scream like, Dad, what is going on? What are you doing, Dad? Who's hurting you up there, Dad? Let's see. Oh, no. Oh, Mrs. Candles is playing with Lucy. Let me see if I can talk to her. Bring her upstairs. I don't think she heard me. She's, oh my God, she's so cute. Anyway, just dump her already. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. We're just taking the trades. I mean, we're making money in the meantime, but I mean, we've just been talking. It's the same. It's just the same thing. It's like, it reminds me of this range, and unfortunately, I've mentioned this many a times. Where we have to pull this for timing, right? It's like, this was brutal for me, right? It's kind of the same situation. Not a lot to talk about. Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. Just be careful, guys. Lower highs for an eventual big capitulation down. We had to wait. Finally, we see it happen. Yeah, something to talk about. And then once this range starts, we're like, oh my God, I hope this doesn't wind up being the same thing as up there. And it's getting pretty dang close. Super brutal. This is probably, from a little look inside the candle here, from a content perspective, guys, this is probably like my most difficult time, like getting on this live stream and just kind of saying the same thing over and over. I wish I could say something different, but like when the chart just offers you the same information, there's not as much to talk about. It takes us a few minutes to go over the local price action, the local trades that I'm in. And then other than that, it's like long time frame, higher time frames remain exactly the same. It's pretty much the same thing here. Lucy is beautiful. Shout out to Malton. Yeah, we love her. She is such a good dog. She's super smart. I know everyone says that about their dog. But I got her. She's got sit. She's got come. She's got crate. And she's struggling. She pees outside, but she's struggling with pooping outside. But I got her to poop outside after the premium live stream earlier today, so she's getting that. Yeah, we need euphoria. Not this boring shit. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome stream. Shout out to Cabana. I can't read that full name, but shout out to Cabana. French Toaster for the win. Shout out to French Toaster. But yeah, guys, I'll come into these lower time frames once again. I'll do a quick overview of some of the bigger altcoins. I'm not going to go super deep into the altcoins. I do have to hop off here pretty soon. But again, what do we look at on Ethereum, right? We do not want to get accepted back into the range. We are looking to potentially come down towards this value area, PLC of the range. We deviated above, tried to get support. We're now back inside. As long as we remain below this value area high, target remains, the next target remains the PLC of the range, sitting at 1948. If we can't hold that, right, looking for the full rotation down to the value area low at 1915. So watch 1915, PLC at 1948. And then the value area high sits at 2,067. We're just, again, back inside the range. And I'm going to save my sanity here and not really over-explain this. 10-hour money flow, same thing as Bitcoin, attempting to come down, right? So, again, can we get the bounces on these higher time frame green dots if they print? Yes, but lackluster retracements, lower highs and lower lows, if this money flow continues out, is going to be the higher probability scenario. And yeah, let me actually extend this. Yeah, it moves the value area high, but does not move the POC. Value area low ticks down a tiny bit. So PLC remains the same. Value area low sits at about 1907. But just inside the range, right? I would treat this as a volume profile. And then again, looking at the 8-hour money flow, the 6-hour money flow, if we get a bounce, lackluster retracements, lower highs, lower lows. You got the value area low at 1907, and then you have a naked daily point of control sitting at 1863, right? So it's a little bit of backup. Try to pull the fib here. Yeah. So you got the golden pocket here, but again, that PLC is, in my opinion, going to act as a magnet. So I would say your biggest level, just like the line in the sand on Bitcoin, is the 786. Very similar here on Ethereum. If we lose the 786 daily MPLC at about 1863, I am going to be looking to at least take out these lows and more than likely take out the low down here. All right, you really want to hold inside the range to hold your support. Let's check the daily. Yeah, nothing really to take away there. Daily money flow starting to scoot back to the downside. Generally trending up, though. But, yeah, 6-hour money flow. I mean, this just gives me the medium time frame bias of, like, green dot could give you an ever flow to the upside, but if that money flow is in the red, I'm looking for lower highs and lower lows. And then to find that local resistance within the range, yeah, I would pull the Fibonacci retracement. I'll just give you this one local level. Can't guarantee you'll get up here. But if you get a retracement, this would be an important level to look at. You don't really have a lot of confluence, but this would be your local Fibonacci retracement sitting between 2035 and 2055. All right, so if you do get a lower high and a lower low and you get a significant retracement, that would be the first place to look. If you break above that, I'd be looking up towards the value area high, which, of course, is always going to be your key resistance. Right? Even if we get back in here, bounce off the POC, if you can't get out of that high, could still rotate towards the low, just like on Bitcoin. Down towards the POC, back into the value area high, can't break out, full rotation of the range. So, yeah. And even here, guys, like, what did we talk about on this tap of the POC? Why did I not like this level as much as I did the first time? It's very simple. Not everyone will give you this sauce, but I explained it on last night's live stream. This POC was already tapped and was also confluent with our 786 Fibonacci retracement, right? For a low, a high, a potential higher low, and a potential higher high. If we wanted to see a higher high here, you really want it to come off the back of that 786. If you got stuck in here and came back down, this is less interesting to me now, right? Because, number one, you're below the value area high. Rotation of the POC and value area low is more likely, right? Or just a full rotation is more likely. Number two, I do not ever expect really, very rarely do I expect these 786s to hold up more than once, right? If I'm looking for a 786, more often than not, I'm looking for it to be a higher low for a potential higher high. If I'm going to see that higher high, I want it to happen on the first tap of that 786. Once I come back down to retest that, I'm not expecting for it to hold up for a second time. So shout out to anybody who watched that live stream last night. Very well played here on that POC, right? Already wasn't that interested in it because of the lack of confluence, full rotation of the range. But I was more interested in this, not that I took the trade because I was already holding my long from lower, but we had this as like a legit trade setup in the premium Discord because it was confluent with the 786. And when you look at the trend here, potential for a higher high. Wound up hitting the TP1 at the value area high and then couldn't break out, right? On the second play, on the second retest, I'm not interested in that. I look for this low, high, higher low for a potential higher high. For the second test, I don't expect that to hold up again. That's why I had more focus on the value area low, and here we are. Don't forget to smash the like button, guys. I literally never say hit the like button anymore. So smash that like button. Who said it? Who said it? Jerry said it. If you appreciate the free content, no one's going to teach you how to trade like we do. I'll tell you that. Most people gatekeep. We don't gatekeep here. At least, I mean, we gatekeep some stuff, but we give away the most free trading value. Honestly, not even in crypto. Like, in the trading space. Stocks, doesn't matter. I'll stand on that. Could this be a higher high if we still hold? Technically, I would want to hold this, right? It is a golden pocket. Oh, thought I already had that on there. It is a golden pocket. I don't like the 786 as much. So technically, it is possible, right? Could it be a higher high? Yes. But money flow is all coming out. So, like, could I put a ton of conviction behind that? Like, this looks beautiful. Tapping into the golden pocket, confirmations, all looks good for higher highs. Not really. Could it happen? Yes. Technically, it's a golden pocket retracement. But again, money flow coming out does have me a little bit more looking for another low to come in. If I get stopped out of the long, I get stopped out of the long. No big deal. It really is just a hedge against my much bigger shorts from higher. Shout out to V-Troll. Says, can confirm. Live streams are full of sauce. Absolutely. Let's go lower time frame. Yeah, just still kind of chopping around here. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at, guys. We got the value area low tapped. Check it off the list. If we get another deviation, I may be interested in another entry point with the premium if we do end up getting another deviation here with some confirmation. But overall, guys, I mean, yeah, I need those medium. There's no medium time frame confirmations, right? We've already gotten a little bit of a move up from the long, from the scalp. But again, if we can't reclaim this value area high, I'll be looking maybe for another re-entry, but if not, guys, if we can't get back inside that volume profile, the last level of defense sits between about 63,850 and 63,3. Lose that, 60K incoming. Really not much of an update from that standpoint. That all remains exactly the same. But yeah, high time frame money flow coming out. We'll see what happens. But right now, I would watch for these low time frame or medium time frame green dots. If that 4-hour green dot prints, we could continue to push up. It's not there yet, right? Once we print it, hopefully we can get the 15-minute money flow to continue up. It's looking a little bit sus right now, to be quite honest. But yeah, if we get those medium time frame green dots, I'll be looking at that as a lackluster bounce. Lower highs and lower lows. If we can get medium time frame confirmations on that new low, I may look for a re-entry. If not, I'll be looking down here as a last level to scalp before looking for a massive move down. Other than that, for shorts, I need some kind of a bigger retracement. We covered the key levels earlier in the stream to look at for the big resistance levels. But for me, I'm just holding my shorts from much, 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 much higher. Let's see here. Oh, we got giveaways today, guys. Today is Friday, right? I'm losing track of the days here. It is Friday, guys. We got some giveaways to do. Tony D, you want to drop the giveaways in the chat? Shout out to Darren Dusting. Says, Mikey, spitting facts. I'd take bullets for Frankie. Hey, shout out to Darren Dustings. I'd take bullets for you too, bro. I don't know what Mikey said, but shout out to you guys. Mafia's always got each other's backs. Let's see here. Yeah, Tony, if you want to drop the giveaway winners, we also give away money every single week here, guys. Make sure you subscribe. You got to be a subscriber to the channel to get the giveaway, by the way. I think we said that. You have to, you don't have to like, I don't think we can track the likes or we don't track the likes, but you do have to be a subscriber to win. Yo, Darren Does Thing is smoking people in chat today? What is going on? Oh my God. He told somebody. Bro, you're probably the one holding the bag, bruv. Frankie is a trader and actually knows when to sell spot. Oh dang. Shout out to Darren Does Things. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah. I mean, listen, people get emotional. It's I always tell people, it's like most people, right? And I come from being in the situation that a lot of new people are in, right? I was a beginner at one point as well. I wanted somebody to tell me exactly where to buy, exactly where to sell, exactly where to long, exactly where to put my stop loss. But it took me a long time to realize I was chasing something that didn't exist. Everybody wants to take the easy route. Unfortunately, nothing worthwhile comes easy. You have to work hard. You can't. I always compare it to like a sport, right? You can't expect to pick up a golf club for the first time, not knowing anything about golf, and then have a trainer say, yeah, stand like this, swing like this, and then the next day you're going to be Tiger Woods. That does not happen in any realm of life, right? It doesn't matter how good your teacher is. It doesn't matter how good your personal trainer is. You can have the best personal trainer in the world telling you exactly how to do the workouts. You're not going to be jacked in 2 days, right? You have to learn the skill. You have to be disciplined. But yeah, it's a lot of people get confused because I'm a trader. They're like, are you bearish or bullish, right? It's like, well, depends on the time frame, right? I don't know the actual context of that, but yeah, like anytime someone shows emotion, right? Like sometimes people will be like, you said we were bullish yesterday and it went down. And it's like, well, yeah. Well, it's because the bullishness, right, the bullish bias was to look for a lackluster retracement for a higher low and a higher high, right? So that is bullish, technically, from a high time frame, right? But I'm going to be bearish until I get that pull back down to the key level. You have to have a plan. But no one can really force you to have that plan, right? They could teach you the plan, but they can't teach you to follow it, right? Or they can't force you to follow it. They could teach you to follow it. They can't force you. But shout out to Darren Does Things. I wonder what he said. Shout out to, I think that says Juan Craw. Says, Frankie, do you establish where to put your volume profile? Your levels are insane, bro. Thank you for the sauce. Yeah, no problem, bro. Yeah, we have tutorials on the YouTube channel. Watch the beginner series. I have volume profile tutorials there showing you exactly how to pull the volume profiles, how I generally trade them, the overall thought process, etc. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Connor. Says, honestly, I appreciate the consistency and not changing the narrative. Gives a lot of confidence in trusting you. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Connor, right? It just is what it is, right? Like that is, I appreciate that. That is, that comes from only what I see on the charts, right? Like, if I were to see, right, obviously our context here was a massive capitulation to the downside. If something had come into the charts that looked different, I would have changed my narrative, right? And people will say, I love when people are like, you were bearish a week ago and now you're bullish. Well, it's like, yes, of course. There's new information coming onto the chart every day, every week, every month. And it would be idiotic for me to ignore that, right? If it looked like, hey, guys, this looks a little dangerous, right? Oh, my God, massive top potentially coming in, and then we wind up breaking above, those signs are invalidated, and it starts to look bullish, I want to be on the right side of that, right? I'm in this market to make money, right? I'm not in this market to be right, right? So the faster I can prove, the faster information, if there's information on the chart that proves my earlier sentiment wrong, the faster I can identify that, right? And it's not up to me to switch it like, oh, man, I was wrong. Let me switch. No. If the information says, hey, like back here, I'll bring up 2022 again, right, for example. And the reason I say this is because the faster you can start looking at the charts like this, the faster you're going to start making money. Once I see this bullish divergence on the weekly and I say, hey, this looks really good, right? This technically, there's randomness. There's an element of randomness in the markets, right? So like technically this could have not played out. But again, the higher probability here is that the weekly bull is in, the bottom's in. If I wound up seeing some kind of bearish confirmations here, money flow starts rolling over, whatever it is, if I have information here saying that this is going to be a lower high for a new low to come in and this is not going to be the bottom, the sooner I can identify that, the more money I can make or the faster I can get on the right side of the trades, right? You will never see me ever in the history of this channel, ever in the past or in the future, will you ever see me just hold on to a narrative or a sentiment because I originally had that sentiment. I will be the first person to be like, hey, guys, this was the sentiment. This changes everything, right? And it's not because I want to be right. It's because if there's information that says something's wrong, I personally want to be on the right side of it, right? So if I'm like, hey, this doesn't look that bad anymore, I'm going to, look for price to go up, or this doesn't look that good anymore. This support's being lost. It looks like we're going lower. I have every reason to want to be on the right side of that because I can make money off of it. And I just share it with you guys, right? So you'll never hear me say, right, 137K was my major bull market target. You guys, as soon as we saw those bearish confirmations in, 137K is essentially off the table for me. Not, oh, don't worry, guys. I know we're dumping here, but don't worry. Like, still, we haven't hit our target. If I had, like, called this 137K target pretending like I had a magic crystal ball that, we're guaranteed to hit 137K like a lot of people do, right? Don't worry, guys. 100K incoming. 100K incoming. Don't worry, guys. I'm on YouTube. I know what's going on, right? If I would just hold on to that magical target and be like, don't worry, we're going to go, right? Number one, I'm in the business of helping the Mafia make money. Right, we had a bunch of people in the premium Discord today talking about how they're up money on the shorts that we talked about, all the short setups, and that's what I'm in the business of. I want to see the Mafia make money. I don't care about like taking a risky gamble and then like hoping I can get it right. Right, as soon as I see that this is a less likely target to get hit, hey guys, we tapped 126K, money flow is coming out. It looks like 120. If we lose 108K, 126K is likely the top. I'm not going, don't worry, guys. We'll hit 137K because that's what I said. No, it looks like the bear market's going to come in. And shout out to anybody who's been watching the channel. Wound up being, I don't know, unless that was obviously the top. So again, that's just me saying, hey, this looks like we're going lower. I want to be on the right side of that. Hey, guys, this is what I'm looking at. I don't hold anything back. I just share with you guys the decisions that I'm making. So, yeah, you'll never see me just kind of I'll always be honest. I have no not only do I have no reason to lie, right, but, like, I have every reason to be honest for myself, for my own benefit, for my own financial gain on the trades and my investments. If I got emotional looking for 37K, not only 137K, not only would I have led the Mafia to brutality, which I will never do if I can help it, right, but I also would have lost a ton of my gains, which I'm not willing to do either, right? It's all binary. It's math. It's charts. Never an emotional bias. Anytime you see someone getting super emotional or, guys, trust me, like, it's definitely going up here, there's always an element of gambling there, right? So, yeah. Bitcoin is going to 80K before 60K. If it goes to 80K, hopefully it goes from here. So how long could play out. But yeah, again, that's like it's a gamble, right? To a degree. Like people, a lot of people like to ask me like this price or this price first. It depends, right? If price comes up here and puts in a lower high and a lower low, right? And we go to 60K first. Like, there's nothing, I would say, obviously, if we want to keep the doorway to 80K open, technically it could be open here, right? But if we would just wind up getting another volume profile rotation, we can't break out, right? It's like not necessarily, there's no way for me to say we are guaranteed. You could always have a bias, right? Like you could have a prediction. I would never trade a prediction, right? I trade probabilities, right? You could have a prediction that you go to 80K before 60, and, that could make sense, right? Come up to retest the golden pocket for a macro lower high and a lower low. Like that could make sense. But if price comes up here and I see my bearish confirmations looking for a lower high here to crack down here and go to 60K, the higher probability is going to be this, right? I can still have a prediction that you go to 80K, right? But if we wake up one day and we have confirmation here and it looks like we're going down to 60K, I'm not going to be anticipating that 80K anymore. You have to flip from a prediction-based mindset to a probability mindset. Simple. USDT winners. Shout out to Tony D. I think he's about to super chat them. Shout out to Prash, said, Lucy is our dog. Show her, please. Like number 37. Live. Show her live. Number 37, but 30K, maybe. We'll see. Definitely a target down at 37K at the monthly MPOC. What indicator is behind your cam? Oh. I'm like, what? This is Market Cipher B. This is a paid indicator. You can check the link in the description down below if you want to get a discount, but it is a paid indicator. Just a heads up. BTC on a diving board down from here. Could be. See if I stop out of that long. 3-day red dot confirmed, 4-day red dot, 5-day red dots printing, weekly red dot incoming in April. I don't really like to try to call the timing of the red dots, right? Again, just because it really depends, right? You can come down, tap the zero line, that comes back up. It takes a little longer to print. But yeah, 4 or 5-day red dot, 6-day red dot, like literally incoming. Again, to me, this does set up for a potential bigger drop for the bullish divergences. And again, I don't need to know if that's the case, right? I'm now hedged again at this point. But, yeah, I mean, we'll keep an eye on this weekly red dot. Hard to say the timing, right? I would say, April, if it's going to print, April would be a very high probability of it to print. But, yeah, I think if we take out those lows at 60K, that weekly red dot will probably print. But, yeah, could make sense. 2-week green dot still printing here. We still got 2 days left for this green dot to confirm on the 2-week, which does give you the 21-hour money flow. Let's check that 21-hour money flow real quick. Yeah, still in the green technically. But yeah, I mean, we're at key support, guys. This is decision time for Bitcoin. I'd be okay with a little bit of a deviation, but mark my words. 786 gets lost. 60K incoming. If we hold above it, right, whether it's at the value area low, which I prefer, right, to make it look good. But yeah, I mean, we come down to that 786. I'm probably looking at this more as a scalp level for potential rollover. If it winds up playing out in a bigger way, beautiful. If not, well, we'll just continue to head to the downside. Personally, I do prefer, not from a probability perspective, but just from a personal perspective, I would love this. It would just look a lot cleaner. Right now we have no high time frame confirmations for the bottom being in, such as a weekly, daily bull div, 2-day bull div, anything like that. It would be really nice to take out those lows again. Personally, we'll see. Doesn't have to happen. I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again at some point. 2-week green dot. Wow, we're really out there. Yeah, 2-week green dot has been printing for quite some time. This was more of a sign that we were looking at with the 21-hour money flow crossover into the green. But, yeah, monthly VWAP up there. Again, these take time. These higher time frames move like cruise ships. They're nice and slow. Have I tried using order blocks before? Yeah. It's not something I use every day. Again, when it comes to, I get these questions often. Do you use fair value gaps? Do you use moving averages? Do you use this indicator? Just because I don't use it doesn't mean it won't work. I just have what I like to look for, right? Volume profiles. I like volume profiles for many different reasons. They're super high probability. It's one of the highest profitable strategies. It's one of the highest probability strategies out there, statistically. It clicks in my brain. Fair value, right? And again, everyone wants to get caught up with this price first or this price first, this price first or this price first, or long from here, short from here. It's very simple. For me, anytime you're inside value, it is shorts above the highs, longs above the lows. This is how I make my money, right? And of course, you'll have intermediary, like local PLC setups and stuff to get more advanced. But at the end of the day, anytime I deviate above a value area, this is looked at as expensive relative to your fair value. Your fair value is inside the volume profile. When I see short confirmations, right, bearish confirmations, when I'm deviating above the profile, if I have all my indicators and technical confirmations pointing towards a pullback, I can look at that as expensive price, and the overall plan for that can be to ride that trade back down into the value area high. Once I get accepted into the value area high, I can view that as a volume profile trade, lose the value area high, the highest probability area for price to go based off the fair value, the volume, not a magic line on the chart, is the PLC of the range. Lose the PLC, go to the low. At the lows, I look for longs. This is expensive. This is cheap. If I get confirmations, I can take that trade, looking to go to the PLC, flip the PLC, go to the value area high. Deviate above the high, get my bearish confirmations. All of these were setups in the premium Discord. Again, you have to know what to look for, of course, right? It's not just short above the high, right? You could short above the high here, get wrecked. Short above the high here, get wrecked, right? You have to understand what to look for. It takes time to learn. You have to understand the strategies. But at this point, failed auction, expensive price, back down to the value area high. Once we get in here and we cannot get out, POC is next. Still can't break out of the range. Back to the POC, full fill to the low. Very simple strategy. Now, as far as order blocks, moving averages, stuff like that, you could totally look at this stuff. It's not my style of trading. Oftentimes, if you see an order block somewhere, usually it's some kind of Fibonacci level or value area level that I'm looking at. I like to keep my trades, my charts as simple as I possibly can. So, I don't want to have a weekly level, a value area high, a moving average, an order block, a fair value gap, right? Like at some point, right, you're just kind of like too much information is bad information. Your chart's going to look super messy. But a lot of times, right, like when people look at fair value gaps, right, people who trade like ICT, they'll have like a break of structure, a fair value gap. They wait for the retracement into the fair value gap, take the short. What is this for me? More often than not, I'm looking at this as a value area. I'm usually short from the high, which is one reason I prefer the volume profiles. By the time you're looking to take that short, I'm already in profit, probably TP1 deep guaranteed winning trade. But is this still a good trade? Yes, potentially if you have the fair value gap. But for me, what would this be? It would be a breakdown out of the value area. Maybe money flow is coming out. Maybe I'm looking at a golden pocket 786 retracement there. So whether you're looking at a fair value gap where my golden, like a lot of this stuff usually just lines up, right? And I just like to keep my trades or my charts as simple as possible, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Shout out to George says, can you talk about the 1/16 strategy, or is that secret sauce? We have tutorials. Everything that we talk about on these live streams, guys, is taught in the beginner series playlist on the channel. It's basically like a free beginner's course. So if you want to catch up on everything that we talk about here, if you're kind of lost on some of the terms that we use or the levels or, my overall view on the markets, how I like to look at price action, it's all taught in the beginner series playlist. So go check that out. I do have a Market Cypher B116 strategy video in that playlist. Yeah, wrap up, volume profiles rock. Yeah. I mean, it's, and just to show this, right? Like, we don't come in here and show hindsight, right? Let me actually... Right, for example, like this week, the trades in the, and again, it gets more intricate, more advanced the deeper you go, right? Of course, this is the overall volume profile. If you're looking at this medium time frame range, deviation above the high, get back into the range, POC value area low for the full rotation of the range, right? Other than that, if you're just looking at this range, there's no other trades to take. You're either short from the high or you're waiting to come down to the low. However, of course, you can go down lower time frame. In the Discord earlier this week, we had some local trades. I could show them because they've already played out. But what were we looking at? We were looking at this local volume profile, which is traded exactly the same as the high time frame ranges. Cheap for a full rotation of the range, expensive for a full rotation of the range, and then, of course, the overall continuation, right? But just within this profile, longs at the lows, full rotation, shorts at the highs, full rotation. And just to show that, before price does it, we are waiting for this. Looking for price to come into the golden pocket for a deviation below the low for a long opportunity to reclaim the range, go to the value area high. After you come up and sweep that liquidity above the high, you can then look for a short back down to the range low, or POC back into the range low, simple volume profile trade. And then, of course, right, you can find these setups all over the place, right? High probability trade. There's your sweep of the highs, right? And again, you have to understand the confirmations to look for. It takes a little bit to learn. There's your full volume profile rotation. And then, of course, money flow is coming out here on the 30-minute. You may be looking at this as an overall bias for a continuation down to the POC and the value area low of, right? Once I get to this low, that could be take profit, stop loss at break even. I'm now holding that guaranteed winning short. After we continue to melt down, where am I expecting price to go next? Pull up the higher time frame range. POC is next. Value area low is next, right? Turning that little scalp day trade of 2% into a 8%. You're not going to be holding the whole position, obviously, but you'll hold a portion of that for a big swing, right? And then at this point, right, maybe you want to take some more profits or just continue to hold this in case you get a big meltdown towards 60K if you get something like that. So there you go. Still wild to me that this is a free stream. Shout out to Panda Profit. Yeah. We also go live for like too long. As you guys know, for the past 4 years, I've been trying to keep these streams to like an hour. And I always go for 2 hours. It gets harder and harder the longer we go to entertain all the questions, just because obviously we always have new people. Like, what's a volume profile? Where do you pull the volume profile from? And it's like anyone who's been watching the show from the beginning, right, or been here for months, they're just like, it's just super repetitive, right? But that's why we have the tutorial beginner series. But yeah, that's what we're looking at, guys. I think that's all I got for you today. Maybe we'll go get we'll do a little Lucy fake out here tonight. Haven't been doing the fake outs either. Short stream, baby. We always keep it short, guys. You guys know we never go over time here. But yeah, watch this value area low, guys. Lose that last level to look at, in my opinion. All right, we get a little more deviation. I might look for the re-entry with the premium. We'll save that for the premium. But if we do end up just losing this and getting the bigger drop down, last level of defense is right here. Once we lose that, 60K incoming. On the move to the upside, we got to reclaim value area low to show a sign of support, and then look up towards the POC. And if we are going to get the move up, what I would be looking at for the move up is the 4-hour green dot printing with the 15-minute money flow. If it can, like, look, it's just coming right back out here. So, again, a little suspicious, as I said earlier. But if we can get that 4-hour green dot, right, hopefully this 15-minute money flow can work its way up if we're going to get some kind of continuation to that POC. If we don't get that, next level's here. Lose this. I'm looking down towards 60K. So we'll see what happens. I'll check back in with you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Please don't text and drive. Don't text and drive. Tony D. Don't text and drive. Don't drink and drive. Be smart out there, guys. I want to see everybody back here on Monday. Until then, I'm going to go play with the puppy and maybe go out to eat with Mrs. Candles. Stick around for the fake out. Maybe We'll show Lucy. We'll show Lucy. But shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. Shout out to Reacher. Shout out to Jay Violet. Shout out to Panda Profit. Shout out to Jesse. Shout out to Gen Z. Shout out to PV. And last but not least, shout out to Joe. He said, you're goated. You're goated. That's all I got. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm going to get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah.
Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working, I'm up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
She sees herself on the monitor. She's like, what the heck? Say hi. Mrs. Candles had her outside, and I came out and grabbed her. I said, she's famous now. She has a call time right now. And she's like, she has to poop. I said, I don't care. Shout out to Lucy. I'm going to go take her out to go poop. I'll see you guys on Monday. Be safe. I love you all. Hasta pasta. Frank Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy.